You never know. So I will tell you my experience. The first time I did this, I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
And actually, it turns out it's not so bad.
Okay.
That's why I told her that it needs to be more difficult. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another fabulous episode of In the Hot Seat by Akeneo. My name is Andy Tyra. I'm Akeneo's Chief Product Officer. Now, this is a very special episode today. We have a special guest. I can't think of somebody more well-suited to be in this particular hot seat than Mr. Francois Silvain.
Hello everyone, thank you for the introductions. I'm happy to be there. I hope that I will be still alive at the end of this exercise, but...
This is the show where we eat spicy wings while talking about product experience management, and I think we have the dream team here today. This sauce, ghost pepper, this is the first sauce. Let's see what we're in for. First of all, the name, it's very straightforward.
Yeah.
This one's not making anything obscure. There's not much product experience management information to go on here.
World hottest chili.
World's hottest chilies, ghost peppers. Let's give this one a try.
Yeah.
See where we are, and then I have some questions for you.
Okay.
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 How's that one for you?
It's up high.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no, we're kicking things off in a great way. So while we finish these wings, Silvain, just a little bit of history about yourself, your experience and relationship with product experience management as a concept.
I've been the global CTO for international at Havaianas that have a global presence. So I was responsible for all regions except Brazil. It's a Brazilian company. We had a big problem at this time because we did not have really product management or data product management per se. And so everything was on spreadsheet, large retailer, marketplaces, small businesses, e-commerce, and each one was in silo with their own spreadsheet. So it's where I started to look at solutions that can help us to manage better this, increase our productivity, and more important, increase our product experience for our customer and increase our conversion rate and order value.
There it is. That's the first sign of success.
So thanks to Akeneo, we have been able to go through this because we were structured. We had an organization that was a tool that helped us to structure that. Mm-hmm. And it was very, very important in this process. The next step was to connect with all the channels and making sure that we can connect with e-commerce, with Amazon, we had a B2B platform, etc. And do all of these things with Akeneo.
Fantastic. I think you're far too articulate, so I think it's time for us to move on to sauce number 2.
I can take some milk.
You know that the coffee is supposed to really help with the spice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will take coffee after.
We have a product title. This sauce is called Voodoo Reaper, with the death theme. Yeah. Okay. And this one has a not a Scoville rating, but it is telling us how hot it is on a scale of green to red, and it is orange, which apparently maps to extra hot.
Extra hot.
Yeah, extra hot. You're supposed to add this to eggs, tacos, and chowder. Similarly, from a nutrition fact point of view, it just has some salt. So you're on a relatively good nutritional basis. We'll put this right here. Okay. I'm not going to lie, that first one hurt my confidence a little bit. But this one's building me back up.
We are talking a lot about AI as productivity tools and efficiency. So improve workflow, improve task, and increase capability. I like to think about AI as inflection points. So meaning that being able to do with AI something that we was not able to do before. We turn from exposure and keyword search to intentions and motivations, and we make the e-commerce smarter to provide the right information, the right product, and including actually the why. When you do keyword search, you find product, but you don't necessarily know or understand why you get this product. With AI, you can not only drive products that are matching the customer needs, but you can explain why you do that, which kind of characteristic you select, or how you make this matching. What we are trying to do at newecom.ai is to actually enable that on any e-commerce site. So enable this conversational commerce and this capability to understand customer needs and ask to the customer what he wants and match that with the product catalog and making sure that we have the right product and right recommendations. And we go farther than this. We enable the customer to ask any questions about the product and making sure that we raise his confidence to purchase because he knows that the product that he wants.
Makes sense. You know, the part of what you're saying that really resonates with me is we've been living in the e-commerce world now for the better part of the last few decades, and it's something that we speak of so highly. We talk about how great the level of convenience is, but when you step back and you think about what we're doing, where we start with intent, we start with a problem, but we have to translate that problem into search keywords, into browse taxonomies, into detail page structure. We've all had the experience where we wind up doing that translation, putting keywords in place, and then we wind up with 7 tabs open, and we're trying to compare across these different options, right? And it only occurred to me very recently, that's actually a bad experience.
No, it's exactly the point. Actually, we put the consumer in the hot seat, meaning that he have to do this.
Very well done, the hot seat.
Yeah, hot seat.
Yeah.
We mainly. If you put that in the real world, imagine you enter in a store. Let's say it's a sport marketplace, and you enter and you see a sales rep here, and you start to talk to him in the keyword, or start to talk to him. You will not do
this
that.
This is it. It occurs to me that actually the in-store experience, aside from the fact of needing to travel the store, is actually a much more delightful experience.
Absolutely.
Right?
And with AI today, you can have your best seller 24 days, 7 days a week, available on your site, ready to answer to any questions and ready to provide you any products that really match what you need.
Yeah, makes sense.
With this one, it was better.
Yeah, we're building you up.
I'm a little bit worried about the next one.
That's good. That's where we want you. I think it's time to bring out the next sauce. This one is called Cajun Ghost. The ghost is the death part. Yeah. This one, no meter. I don't really know why they put the meter on some of them, they don't put the meter on the other. I can only assume they don't put the meter on the ones where they're a little worried that it might harm your health.
Yeah.
I don't even know what this logo is.
It's a French fleur de lis.
Is it French fleur de lis?
Yeah, because Cajun.
Because Cajun, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, they're speaking to Akeneo's heritage and your heritage and my adopted heritage.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is fantastic. We're talking about this transformation toward intent-based shopping. And I know that, of course, we don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but, paint a picture for me, what in your head, what does it look like? Is it going to be showing up in my social media feeds, and what is it going to be like to shop online or in store in this new kind of intent-based world? Oh yeah, it creeps up on me. Yep.
First evolutions is these new generations of search engines that have what we call zero-click results. So meaning that you express your need as you want, from picture, from natural language, from speech, and we put the information system at work to find the right product and find the right information that you need to really take a decision. So you have everything on your fingerprint. The future step of this is actually that this concept of agent doing that for you. So better to have to go to a site and say something. You can imagine very quickly that you have your own personal agent that you configure and you personalize. Actually, you give him your preferences and what you want and things like that, and then he will do the work for you. So it's a completely different stage. So meaning that now you will have a kind of real personal assistant that you can say, okay, find me this pair of sneakers that I need to go to next Paris Marathon. Like, okay, it needs to be very comfortable because I'm not really a professional in marathon. It needs to be at this price, and it needs to be waterproof or whatever. And then the agent will make the work.
Goes and works on our behalf, and we just sit on the beach and eat
Exactly.
spicy wings and drink cocktails.
And it seems to be, you know, the future, but actually this future is pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
We are going in directions where we can put the information system not only reactive but proactive and smart.
I'm going to ask you about that next.
Yeah.
But before this one wears off completely, we need to introduce the next level.
Yeah.
You see, this is what we do. We just ratchet it up. You know, the more you can handle, the more you get.
Okay.
Okay. This is called Scorpion Stinger Extreme Hot Sauce. It uses the word extreme. Trinidad Butch Tea Scorpion Pepper. Now you know. Also does not have a rating because they don't want you to know.
What I would love to know is why I need to be cautious about this particular pepper. Because they say cautious, but they don't say why.
If we were shopping for this sauce and we were trying to be intent-based about it, what kind of problem do you think we would tell the AI?
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah.
I would like a sauce that murders me, like an insect, like a murderous insect. And, you know, I'm right here with you in solidarity.
I don't feel anything now.
I think the producers are going easy on you. Just kidding. I would never accuse a guest on this show of cheating. I would not do that.
If you want to have good AI, good agent, good answer, you need to have good data. Clearly, more you have quality data, more the result will be good. Akeneo is very well positioned on this, and especially your customer, because they already have done that. They have a product catalog that is structured with descriptions, with characteristics, with attributes, and in categories and things like that. It's actually not necessarily enough, so meaning that to really be able to be precise, you need also to add a layer that is intentional data layer, so meaning that transform this attribute in what is for, what is the conditions of usage of this product, what is the benefits of this product from the customer point of view, when you can use it, when you can wear it. So create a multiple facet of the same product, but from the perspective of the consumer, from the perspective of the customer. So you make it closer to natural language expressions of needs. And then it will be extremely performant. But again, having the right data is very, very important, and being able to process this data and understand this data deeply is very, very important. And having this fundamental layer will help you to be extremely performant in the future.
Okay. He's doing better than me. I'm just like this new format is the guest is articulate and I sit over here and suffer in silence. This one looks less evil. It's not red hot, it's just brown.
Yeah.
Looks like a British brown sauce, actually. Orange, extra hot. It is called Seven, which I can only assume is named for the movie Seven. Which, you guessed it, a lot of people die.
Yeah.
So here we are. But you know what? We're on round 5 of this thing and we are both still standing.
Yeah.
All right, sir, bottoms up. Second to last sauce. You were almost at the end game. Please enjoy all the sauces equally.
Yeah.
How was that for you? That's what I thought too. Yeah, this one's evil. So, while you're processing that hot sauce, I want to talk about the ethics of AI discovery. So last year, we were talking a lot about the French circular economy. Hang on a minute, let me use this.
Oh my God.
If you want to die, this one is your friend. Hey, we have a special guest in the studio.
Oh my God. Come to play.
Yes.
Come to play.
Thank you for being with us.
Yeah, for sure.
So we've just had a surprise guest wander into the studio. Benoit Jacquemont, founder and CTO, has accidentally entered the room at exactly the wrong time and will join us for round 6. This is the final sauce and the final edition of the paramount question about the intersection of ethics, social responsibility, and AI discovery. To backstop this whole conversation is a sauce that is called Mr. Pain. Execute your taste buds. This one has a what do we call it? A meter. It has a meter. It is green to red. It is red. It is called Wild. So I'm gonna set this sauce down. We're gonna eat the wing, and then we're gonna have some real talk. Okay, Francois. So, in this world where we have coming fast and furious, circular economy laws, digital product passport, customers who care more and more about socially responsible shopping, how do you think that all plays out? How does AI discovery and purchase intersect?
Again, I think product data is very, very important again here, because you need to make sure that you have the right information about your product, the right information about sustainability, about traceability, and you need to make sure that consumer can understand that. Okay, so not just attribute and keyword. It's also making sure that you translate that in something that consumer can understand and language that customer can understand. So again, having a layer.
I think not only the consumer needs to understand all these things, but all the large language models need to have an understanding.
Yeah, exactly.
As well, that can be translated into a conversation with the final consumer.
It's also a responsibility of the consumer to make sure that he expresses value.
Yep.
The only way to make sure that we respect you is also to make sure that you express, you as a consumer, you express what you want, and you stand on it. And then it's very, very important as marketplace or e-commerce site to be honest and transparent. If you really express your value and you really express what you want and expect from a product, then it's your responsibility as e-commerce merchant or marketplace merchants to provide products that are doing that. And whatever, if there is another product that is in promotion that the merchandising will push but doesn't respect this value, it should not be in the mix. Because if you put it on the mix, then you will break the trust.
Right.
And in this story, trust will be very, very important. As a consumer, if you lost the trust in the system and the shopping assistant doesn't really do the work that you expect, it's done.
Yeah. So, in summary, you've done so well. You've done so well, but I think in summary, if I internalize what you're saying, is that we need to be thinking, holistically about the needs and desires of our customers. And in a world where the AI discovery mechanisms that we've discussed here are only as successful as the data that they're fed, right? It is thinking far beyond just the obvious pieces of data, right? But the rest of the structural information that will allow this to both make great decisions, to make great decisions on behalf of customers, including dimensions that we might not otherwise think about, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, that I think is all the time we have today on this episode. You have absolutely conquered and a tremendous number of sauces. In preparation for this, we really said we wanted to up the ante, and you've met it with pride and honor.
Thank you.
And you showed up at exactly the right moment.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here, both of you. And we'll see you on the next episode of In the Hot Seat with Akeneo.
Be careful of this one.
That was this thing is so awesome.